Good morning. I'm impressed with the reach of these branches of the bougainvillea. Look at these ones here, the way they can stretch out so far and stay straight. And there's a very strong one back here, just behind our house, that really amazes me for the length it is, and it's totally horizontal. So here we have, it's one of these ones here, so you can see that big one there coming out across here. And there's nothing else holding it up. So just imagine that structure inside that plant. It's really amazing. How many yards is it? Let me see here. 1, 2, 3. It's a good over 4 yards, almost 5 yards of a reach. And at least 4 yards are perfectly horizontal with that thin little stem. Here you can see the pomelos. I have a sense that they're smaller this year. Look at here. This one now is a little bigger for sure. But they should be ripe in about a month, and I thought that they were always bigger than this. Here are the oranges. So that's much smaller, you know. And there's one turning a little yellow there. And then here we have red oranges in this little one. Blood red oranges. They're very small. And then we have some mandarins here. They're almost ready. There's a ripe one up there in the back. But somebody has been here. I noticed one of our smart employees and has been knocking off some of the ones that were getting riper. People here tend to eat the fruit when it's, I'm not sure if this is another mandarin. And then this is a type of a plum, a small little plum, a tiny plum. And here's our fig tree that didn't do any good this summer with figs. It had a lot of little figs, but they never ripened. They were all hard and green. Whereas this little fig tree here, see how the leaves are so big on a fig tree? So they were useful for that story in Genesis about Adam and Eve covering themselves with fig leaves. And this little one now is beginning to grow more, but it had delicious figs and they were ripe before the other ones were even coming. And our lemons are doing very well. We have these ones here. You see there's some ones here that are ripe already. They seem to ripen progressively, which is very handy because I pick off a few every couple of days and cut them for squeezing into a glass of water. So there you have a little update on the garden. We had hard luck with the rimonim, with the pomegranates this year. See, there's still the remains of one or two there, but they all went bad quickly. It wasn't the birds this year. It was some type of, I don't know what it was, some type of a black substance was coming from them. So something went wrong there that I don't know how to explain. So it's another lovely morning, middle of October. We had a lot of pilgrims out here this morning when I went out to swim. We have a group from St. Louis, Missouri, and a group from Texas, an Anglican group. Good morning, ladies. Where are you from?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Very good, excellent. Welcome. We have Texas and we have Missouri, Rhode Island.
Have a great day.
God bless you. Yesterday we were filming the Apostle Simon the Zealot and we went over to the synagogue. See where that truck is traveling way over there? Just over there is where the synagogue is, and the wall is blocked over there, so it's a sign of, as the street is blocked, rather than the wall is blocked. The street is blocked with a complete wall, which is potential evidence that that was part of the action of the rebels against the Roman oppression of their uprising. And so it was a good place to put in Simon the Zealot, because the spirit of zealotry was what drove the rebellion against Rome and led eventually then to the destruction of Jerusalem. And there was a stand for that here in Magdala. Over in Gamla, also in the Golan, right over across there, across the lake on the other side, there was another major stand. And that had its own history, because the Zealots had a very significant model and leader there. And he's mentioned in the Acts of the Apostles actually as well. And he's kind of named as the founder of that movement of zealotry. But I imagine that was before the time of Jesus. In fact, I think, does Jesus refer to it? What was his name? Something the Galilean. The name escapes me right now this hour of the morning. I don't remember all the names. So let's walk down a bit here along the lakeside down towards the camp. And today we're celebrating a big feast day. You know, we've received tremendous treasures from those early disciples. And today we have the author of Luke's Gospel, St. Luke. And these guys, interestingly enough, were not just the writers of these books, but they were actually in the trenches. And they had their sleeves rolled up, and they were doing. And in the letter there we have to Timothy, he's saying that, and Luke is the only one who has remained with me. One of the fellows has gone off because he loved the world too much, and he has abandoned us. So the path of the choice to follow Jesus has its own denial. Deny yourself, take up your cross and follow me. And perseverance in that path is not easy. And times can be tough, and people can abandon the course and be drawn to the world and its comforts. You see, following Jesus is a long-term investment. It's actually forever. It's lifetime. And just to go for the ride for a little bit while it's fun and novel and exciting and change is one thing, but to go on the long haul in any enterprise, in any endeavor, because there are always ups and downs in life and changes in circumstances and situations. That's the big challenge of founding family, something for the long haul. But how worthwhile it is to persevere. Luke is the only one staying with me. And you can read there in that little text the many practical details, and tell them to bring the papyrus and the scrolls, and don't forget my jacket over there. All the practical needs of ordinary life like you have in a family. Oh, when you're there at the shop, pick up that also for me, you know. Small details of daily life. This is where life is formed, where life is in the nitty-gritty of the daily doings. Go on and go to the oven quickly because I don't want to get burned. You know, the food is ready. It's cooked. So many small little things. That's where we live out our normal day-to-day. So we have these big saints like St. Luke, you know, who gave us the extraordinary work of his gospel with so many marvelous riches to it. Special emphasis on mercy, special emphasis on the weaker and the outcast, special emphasis on women in a culture that was very chauvinistic and hard. But it wasn't just not just a big social theorizer sitting in office, you know, doing his research, which he also did, and because he studied a lot too. He wasn't a direct eyewitness of Jesus, so he talked to a lot of people who were, and they picked up from their hearts all that treasure, and he was sensitive to their accounting of that. And so it was what a gift he gave us, you know. But he was also in the regular task of life, cleaning up something that got spilled, dealing with human tensions. The normal way of life requires a lot of care, service, humility, patience. I see that our friends are over here still, at least the same tents are standing that we saw a couple of days ago, I think. They have probably a new set of laundry out there. Are you a friend of the Lord? And our psalm today says, "Your friends make known, O Lord, the glorious splendor of your kingdom." And sometimes that can be done with words, but more often it's done with a smile, with a helping hand. A line came yesterday doing Simon the Zealot, from whom we don't have a single word written down in the New Testament, or no written work from him. But availing of a line from St. Paul, "You are our letter, written in hearts of flesh." And so not everybody writes the gospel in the way Luke did it. In fact, we only have 4. But you are our letter. So each of us is a gospel proclaiming God's words, without words, with life, with actions. Picking up that jacket, cleaning that mess, bearing adversities patiently, encouraging others through their adversities. Hey, look at this bird over here. Wow, she just pulled in her neck. Her neck was totally stretched out. She was really observing there for something to fish, I think. Looking for breakfast. Isn't that a nice circle of yellow around the sun there? I'm not sure what optical effect it is. Here we have a couple of other birds here swimming in the water. There she is, that same one now we saw a few moments ago. She was perched on the rock before. She's watching our every move. Quite far away actually, because it's zoomed in totally. So I'd say let's leave it like this for today. Wishing you every blessing, and see you later, alligators. Here we are with Mount Arbel in the backdrop here. God bless you.